The survivors that come out of the tunnels are going to have experienced starvation. If you feed a starvation victim regular food, worst case scenario, they are not going to live. Best case scenario, they're going to sustain serious damage. I want to share with you my journey of recovering physically from starvation so that we have a roadmap of how to treat these people and how to support them into a full recovery. So there are 4 stages to recovery from starvation. The first is implementing an immediate starvation recovery diet. Second is to heal the gut microbiome. Third is all-out eating to gain weight and absorb toxins. And fourth is a shift to a high-protein, high-fat, low-carb, and heavy greens diet. So let's look at the first stage, which is the immediate starvation recovery diet. I don't know the exact science behind why this particular set of things works because I found it through, intuition and research and trial and error, but apples and peanut butter and chickpeas are the cornerstone to an immediate starvation recovery diet. Somehow these 3 things are able to stabilize the body and stop it from degenerating further. It's not exactly the most tasty and the most fun, but it's really, really important to have this be the thing that a survivor is first fed for a certain amount of time before they can tolerate other things in their body. You can get creative though. You can make chickpea pasta, which is available everywhere. If they can tolerate some red sauce with that or pesto. You can also do chana masala, which is an Indian dish made of chickpeas, which is really good. You can roast the chickpeas. You can make blondies, which I used to make back in the day with just chickpeas, a sweetener like maple syrup, and like baking soda and salt. You mix it all up and it's no flour and you bake it and it actually tastes really good. Also things like apple pie and apple sauce. Oh yeah, and the blondies also have peanut butter in them. And then, I would eat the apples, like slices of apples with peanut butter. And as the survivor gets better, you can introduce things little by little, like bananas instead of apples, and putting more sauce and some veggies in the pasta. So over time, it's definitely going to get tastier and more varied, but it's important to start with the cornerstone to stabilize the body. Once they begin to stabilize, the second stage is to start gut healing protocols. And I've laid those out step by step in my ulcerative colitis videos, which is a 3-part video on my channel. This will open up the pathways for the body to start absorbing. So with all the stuff that an SRA survivor has been through, their gut's probably really damaged and not absorbing a lot. And so even if you were to put in nutrient-rich foods, they wouldn't even be able to capture the nutrients. So we're going to want to heal the gut first. So when the body is stabilized and the gut is starting to heal, then you can introduce stage 3, which is all-out eating. The survivor should be able to eat whatever they want, whenever they want, and how much they want. This stage is necessary for 2 reasons. First is emotionally, as someone that's been trapped underground and their freedom has been completely taken away. That is an intensely emotionally torturous experience. They need to feel like they have the freedom to eat whatever they want and to break free of any conditioning that has kept them restricted. And the second reason is that they need to gain weight to stabilize underdeveloped systems in the body. So like the lymphatic system, the nervous system, the muscles, the bones, all of those will be severely underdeveloped if you've gone through starvation for long periods of time over your life. It's like the concept of bulking before a cut. You're basically gaining mass to stabilize the systems as they grow back in or grow for the first time because they were never given a chance. And they also need to gain weight to soak up toxins. So toxins get stored in fat tissue. And if they're not stored in the fat tissue, a lot of those bigger molecules and radiation will just be swimming around the system and causing an immense amount of havoc and stress and pain. So for me, when I went through this stage, it's gaining weight seemed to help lock in those toxins that were floating around, and I started to feel better and better and better. You can implement detox protocols later to get rid of those toxins as you are shedding that weight that you've gained. And that takes us to the 4th stage, which is a transition to a high protein, high fat, low carb, and heavy on greens diet. This type of diet sets you up for long-term recovery, muscle growth, and long-term blood sugar stabilization. At this stage, you can also start introducing larger quantities of probiotic foods like yogurt and kimchi and kombucha, things that you probably would not have been able to tolerate in the earlier stages when the gut was still healing. So these 4 stages are going to happen in cycles, just like gut healing. You may progress to stage 2, but have to return to stage 1 for a bit. Or you may progress to stage 4 and you have to regress back to stage 3 for a little bit, or even further. Your body is going to work in cycles, but the overall trajectory is going to be towards healthier and healthier and healthier and healthier. Some of the survivors that come out of the underground may need to start at different points in the process. Some may need to start all the way at the beginning at stage 1. Some may already be okay enough to start at stage 3. The body's always going to tell you what it needs if you can tap in and tune in. However, we are going to have to figure out how to communicate with these people if they are not used to being in tune with their body. They still deserve treatment, and we should have a system where we can figure out what it is that they need accurately. A lot of you guys have been asking, how can I step in and how can I help? And I'm so glad that you're asking. I really, really appreciate it. And that's what we need. So this is a place where I feel like people with expertise that are scientists, doctors, they understand nutrition. They know, or they can help to figure out the markers of what stage of healing are these people in and where do we need to input help. So if that's you, please feel free to comment. Let's get the conversation going so that when it does come time for these people to emerge, we are ready and we know exactly what to do. All they have to do is just relax and enjoy the healing process, because it can be very yummy. The absolute joy that I feel from eating food now that I would never get to eat. I thought I would never get to eat chocolate. I thought I would never get to eat wheat and dairy. And now, I can literally eat whatever I want. I have full control over my diet. And it's I can't even describe just the joy and the freedom that feeling is about. All we have to do is educate ourselves and provide the support structure for these people, and they're going to be okay.